All right, here we go. Verse 6, picking up right where we left off. Joseph was this is the first time we've heard this yet. Joseph was a very handsome and well-built young man, a lot like me. And Potiphar's wife soon began to look at him lustfully. Come and sleep with me, she demanded. Okay. Point one, by the way, before I go any further, if you're on this side or that side, we put some pages there with fill-in-the-blank notes and pins. You can pass those down. You don't have to take notes, but that's there. I've never in my life done a fill-in-the-blank note sheet, but I felt compelled to do that this week. So you're welcome to follow along as you get that. But point one tonight, point one, it's revelationary. It's going to rock your world. You may not believe it, but point one tonight is women struggle with sexual temptation too. Isn't that crazy? Yeah, just take a breath there. That's wild. Women struggle with sexual temptation too. And here's what I mean. A lot of you ladies, I'm just going to assume, you walk in here and you kind of hear sexual temptations coming. You know that's what we're going to talk about. And you instantly think, well, I kind of knew guys were sick. I knew that. I kind of knew that. But this really doesn't have anything to do with me. But I'm going to go just to support you, Chad. And the truth is, you would be naive, I think would be the best word to put that. Because the reality is that you guys struggle with this too. You girls struggle with this too. And here's what I mean by that. If you watch, don't raise your hand, I'm not going to embarrass you. If you watch any of the shows, maybe it's Gossip Girls, maybe it's One Tree Hill, maybe it's Desperate Housewives, Sex in the City, Grey's Anatomy. I don't know if that's what I wanted. Okay, but you start thinking about these shows. And what are they teaching you? What they're teaching you is that you need to dress sexy. You need to use your body to get things. You do need to talk a certain way to be a woman. To use Desperate Housewives for an example, probably not many of you watched it, but it just works for this. And when it opened, it caused so much stir in the community because the main point of the story was this 34-year-old, 40-year-old, she looked like she was 20, but this woman that was in her late 30s was having an affair with the guy that was 18 or 19. But that wasn't the problem. The problem was that she made it look cool. The show made it look cool. They made it look like this is how women should be acting. This is how they should be behaving. It's okay to have an affair as long as it's on the side and this guy doesn't ever find out. And the problem is, we watch all these things, ladies specifically, and you watch some of these shows, and subconsciously what they're telling you is that this is how a woman should dress, this is how a woman should talk, and this is how a woman should behave. And it's wrong. It's wrong. And it steers us off the path. And so don't be naive. Don't think that this doesn't affect you because it does. Verse 8, but Joseph refused. Look, he told her, my master trusts me with everything in his entire household. No one here has more authority than I do. He has held back nothing from me except for you because you are his wife. So how could I do such a wicked thing? It would be a great sin against God. Point number 2 tonight is have a reason you're avoiding sexual temptation. Have a reason. Now, wait a minute, Chad. I don't need a reason, right? The obvious answer is it's God. God is the reason. His plan's best. He's the thing that we should be searching for. He tells us not to do it, so we shouldn't do it, right? That's the answer. But here's the problem. We're not doing that. God should be enough. What he says should be enough, but somewhere along the line, that changed. God tells us not to lie, but we still lie. God tells us not to cheat, but we still cheat. God tells us not to do this, but we still do it. Somewhere along the way, we have lost sight that simply what he says should be enough. So the ultimate reason should be God. That should be the driving force behind why we should avoid sexual temptation. But the truth is, for most of us, and just like Joseph, there needs to be a second reason. There needs to be a second one, if not more. For Joseph, he said it would be a dishonor, it would be a sin against God. But guess who else it would be dishonor to? It would be dishonor to Potiphar. It would not honor my master on earth, Potiphar. So how does that translate for us? Guys, when you see a girl, when you're dating a girl, when you're with the girl, whatever the situation is, you should want to bring honor to them. Yes, God should be the ultimate reason, but then you should look at them and say, you are not a piece of meat. I do not see you as just another thing that I want to take advantage of. I want to honor you. And ladies, you need to turn around and do the same thing. To look at him and say, hey, you're my brother in Christ, and maybe there is something down the road. Maybe this will go further, but for now, I just want to bring honor to you. Maybe it's just to honor their parents. Maybe it's to honor some of your pastors, some of your small group leaders that have invested and tried to teach you and tried to walk you through what it should look like to honor God with our bodies. So I think a great benefit for us would be to have a second reason why we're doing it. To just run into something without a reason, we get lost, we forget the focus, and we're easy to fall into the trap of temptation. So yes, God should be number one, but there should be something else. Who am I trying to bring honor to? And we should, more important than anything else, we should be honoring each other. Point 3, to avoid sexual temptation, you must have a plan. And this is where we're going to camp out for the rest of the night. To avoid sexual temptation, you must have a plan. When I was growing up, I played football. I wasn't super good, but I was pretty good. And let me tell you, if you ever played football, you know you don't run into the game without a plan. Because that gets you hurt. When you run into something without a plan, you end up getting hurt or messing things up. Anybody here, you feel this? Okay? When you run into something in football, you wouldn't just get hurt. You would get a term that we call depleted. You would get leveled. You would get put flat on your back because you ran out there like a chicken with your head cut off. What do I do? Where am I going? I don't know and you get killed. The same thing happens when it comes to sexual temptation. We don't have a plan. We just run out there. We meet a guy or we meet a girl. We start dating and we're just going for it. And we think, okay, well, we'll start slow. We'll go on a few dates. And the next thing you know, I'm stuck because I don't know what I was doing. I never had a plan. I was just running around like a crazy person. So if we're going to avoid sexual temptation, we have to have a plan. And that's where we're going to camp out. Here's what I want to give you. I want to give you some tips for defense. It's not football driven, but I just used the terminology here for a second. Tips for defense, okay? Number 1 is this, okay? And this is something you just need to ingrain in your mind because I think many of us forget it. Point 1 of tips for defense is laziness leads to lust. Laziness leads to lust. A wandering mind is dangerous. How many of you remember growing up, summer days? Man, when you had that all day, it was hot, you were outside with your buddies, maybe your mom locked you out of the house like mine used to do, and you're just stuck because there's nowhere to go, and so you're just sitting there and you're like, what do we do? We've played every sport known to man, I have nowhere else to go, and what happens? You start getting mischievous, right? You're adventurous. You're willing to try some new things, maybe to jump the fence of a neighbor's house. You're willing to do more things. Why? Because when we're bored, when we're tired, we're more apt to do things that we wouldn't do had we had a full night's sleep or if we were better prepared. Laziness leads to lust. Some of you guys, if I could start with you, man, late at night, you're on the computer, you just meant to be on Facebook or you just meant to send a message to somebody. But man, you start clicking, that little box pops up with that little girl or that older girl. That'd be weird. It pops up with that girl. And you look at it and you go, I know I shouldn't. And then you do it. Or maybe it's a couple and y'all are together on the couch and you started at 5 in the afternoon and so you were good, but you started watching one movie and that movie was really good, so you knew the second one would be better, and so you watched 2, and the next thing you know, it's 10, 11, 12 at night. You're sitting on the couch together. By the end of it, you're laying together, and you're more apt to what? Roll into trouble. Because when we're lazy, when we're tired, when it's late, when our defenses are down and we're not thinking straight, we're more apt to do things that we would have never done in the middle of the day. And so if I could drive one thing home tonight, I think the most important specifically for the guys is remember that laziness leads to lust. Laziness leads to lust. Okay, point 2, hang on. Here we go. Point 2. Tips for defense. Surround yourself with like moral people. Surround yourself with like moral people. Here's what that looks like. Okay, if you're in the dating world, all right, and you met this cute guy, you met the cute girl, y'all hooked up, you're together, okay? And whatever you call it, you're together, all right? I'm married now, so I don't care. But y'all are together. Here's what you need to do, okay? I don't know why I'm talking to y'all, but y'all need to hear this, and that's my phone. Here's what you need to do. Make a plan early, right? Find out what do they believe in morally when it comes to the whole realm of sex. Because if she is all for it, like in the bed the first night, and you're trying not to, those two aren't going to come together very well, are they? No. And so what we got to do in the dating world, first we got to make sure we're dating people that are like moral with us, that believe the same things, that see this the same way. Okay? But then the second phase is the friends that we hang around. Because you may be that guy that you're trying really hard, you've been coming to whatever church service and you've really been inspired to just want to treat and look at girls in a different way. But all of your friends, man, all they want to do is go out to the club, they want to go get drunk, and then women just become a prize. And you think you're going to stand strong, but the truth is these guys are going to pull you down way faster than you ever pull them up. And so surrounding ourselves with like moral people is key. Having someone that'll hold you accountable, that will tell you the truth, that'll say, hey, I see you're dating that girl or that guy, and you know, it looks like y'all are spending a lot of time together late at night. Can I just ask, what are y'all doing? All right? And you're not being nosy, you're trying to get in the middle of it because you want to help them. We need friends. Guys need guys, girls need girls that'll hold us accountable to help keep us out of those situations. I want to say this tonight, and I think this is huge. It is way, way better to confess temptation than to confess sin. It is so much better to confess the temptation of wanting to be with her or wanting to be with him than to walk into that same room where you would have just confessed your temptation and say, my boyfriend and I, we were struggling, we did have sex, and now I'm pregnant. It is so much better to confess the temptation than to confess the sin. Some of you tonight, that's just the one thing that you needed to hear. It's better to confess temptation than to confess sin. Point 3 tonight. We are not called to fight. We are called to flee. We are not called to fight sexual temptation. We are called to flee. Verse 11, look at what Joseph does. This is it. This is what it should look like. One day, no one else was around when he went in to do his work, talking about Joseph. And she, Potiphar's wife, came and grabbed him by his cloak, demanding, come on, sleep with me. Joseph tore himself away, but he left his cloak in her hand as he ran out of the house. Okay, picture this, all right? This is modern day terms. You're with the guy, your guy and girl, all right? You're with your boyfriend or girlfriend, or maybe it's just a friend, and you're on the couch, and some girl, because this happens all the time, some girl just reaches over and sleep with me now, and grabs you. And you look at her and go, no! And you just start running out the door. But somehow she got your shirt. That's what it would look like. Like, this is epic. This is what you're supposed to do. And no, honestly, let me just tell you guys, I think I'm speaking for the ladies here. No girl is ever going to get mad at you or look at you like, well, they might look at you like you're dumb when you run out the door, but they're never going to look back and go, that guy was an idiot because he wanted to respect me. It'll never happen. And some of us, if we could be honest, we have to get aggressive. We have to be like Joseph. It doesn't say that it was easy for Joseph. It doesn't say he walked by, never had struggle, never looked at her, never was tempted. It doesn't say that, does it? No, it says he dodged her every moment that he could until finally she got that moment where she thought she had him and he did the only thing he knew how to do and he bolted out the door. He said, I am out of here and I am not looking back. It's probably the only place in Scripture that we are not called to stand as believers and fight, but we are actually called to flee. Why? Because this is so strong. Sexual temptation, it is so strong, it is so real, and it is all around us. And the Bible knew this. As these guys were writing it, they knew this. And so they told us, don't you stay and fight. Don't you sit at that computer screen and look at that button that has that cute girl and say, I'm not going to click it, I'm not going to click it, I'm not going to click it. Because you're going to click it. Don't sit on the couch with your boyfriend or your girlfriend and say, okay, she's just kissing my cheek. Okay, she's just kissing my neck. Whew. She's just kissing my neck. She's got my shoulder. Okay, I'm not going to do, you are going to do it. You're going to fail because that's a bad situation to be in. We are not called to fight. We're called to flee. Flee, flee, flee. Some of you need to cut the cable to the internet. You need to take the TV out of your room. Or you just need to tell your boyfriend or your girlfriend that we cannot be together past 5 o'clock at night because we just don't do anything good together. We are not called to fight. We're called to flee. The last thing I want to say on this is don't linger. Some of us, the most dangerous spot. Like the truth is, there are cute girls, I'm talking to the guys here, just girls adapt here. There are cute girls all over the world, okay? All over the world. And if a cute girl decides that she's going to dress in a bikini or whatever the heck they call that stuff, and she's going to walk by you, there's nothing you can do about that. There's nothing you can do about a cute girl that decides to walk by. Where you get in trouble is when you look back, when you linger, when you say, oh, I'm not going to, yes. That's when we get in trouble. Facebook in this past year is quickly becoming the #1 cause of extramarital affairs. Did you know that? Why? Here's what happens. These guys are married, and I know most of us in here aren't married yet, but wait because it's coming. You be prepared. Listen to this. They get in a fight with their husband or let's just say their husband. The husband, like he's really being a jerk or he didn't take out the trash or whatever. That's a big deal, I guess. And so you're sitting on the computer and he's just got you, you're agitated. And so you're clicking. All of a sudden you see that old boyfriend from back maybe 10 years ago. One day you'll get there. And you go, man, I remember the good things. He was so cute. He was so sweet. He would buy me little candies and he'd do little roses. And my husband, they can't even tell me the last time he said he loved me. Like, and so you'll start reminiscing, and all you're only thinking about the good, right? We've deleted the bad, but we're thinking about the good. And so you'll click, and then maybe he'll message you, and you'll go, oh my gosh, it's so good to see you. I didn't even know. And his profile picture, of course, is like the best photoshopped, and he looks all sharp and trim and all that. And you'll go, man, you'll send a little message. It's so good to hear from you again. And then he'll respond back, hey, I'm in the area. Why don't we get some coffee? And then you'll respond back, yeah, that sounds like a good idea. Let's go get coffee. And then he'll say, hey, that coffee let's go get dinner. And then you'll get dinner. And next thing you know, you didn't plan it. You didn't mean it. It wasn't intentional, but you found yourself in a place that you knew you shouldn't be. Why? Because we lingered. We lingered, and we thought we were in control. But we weren't. You can't do it. Don't try to fight it. We flee. We flee. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. And I'm not old, okay? I'm 26, and if you think that's old, I'll beat you down later, or Matt will. But I know some of you are sitting here going, dude, you don't get it, man. That Bible stuff, I mean, I know yours, like, it looks new, but that stuff is old. This stuff has changed. The world is different. The generations are different. Everything's different. This is not the same. Let me tell you something. It was more crazier then, when they were writing this stuff, than it is right now. Did you know that? When Paul and Peter and some of the other writers of the Bible, when they were writing this stuff, women were a commodity. They were seen as something you just used whenever you needed. It was against the law at that time that this was being written to marry multiple wives. So they would just marry one, but they could have affair after affair with prostitute after prostitute. There was no punishment. There was no judgment. There was no nothing because that's just how it was. Women were a commodity. And then guys like Peter and Paul came in and started writing things about honor your wife, put her in front like Jesus did to the church, all these crazy things that people are going, what the heck are these guys talking about? That's not who women are. Women don't have rights. They don't have feelings. And so don't tell me it's crazy now. It was crazier then. Things haven't changed. Yeah, the world's changed. The generations have changed. Yeah, there's more stuff on the internet. There's more people walking around with less on. But Christians don't change. The principles don't change. What we still believe doesn't change. It just gets a little bit harder. But guess what? That's part of the fight. That's part of being a Christian. It's not supposed to be easy. If it was easy, it wouldn't be fun or worth the wait. So I know none of y'all were thinking that. But in case you were, that's my response. With love. I'm going to finish by talking to the guys first. And then ladies, I promise I'm coming for you. On the back of your sheet, there's blanks for notes if you want to keep going, but I don't have anything else for this. Guys, here's what I want to say. And here's first thing. I want everyone to pay close attention because this applies to everyone. But these things for the guys are for the guys, for the girls for the girls, but you need to know them because one day, let me tell you, you're going to be a parent or you're going to have a little brother or sister or a niece or nephew or something, and you'll need to know this stuff for both genders because this is stuff that's going to help you. This is stuff that's going to help us be a better generation when it comes to this topic. So here's for the guys, and here's the first thing, and I want you to hear me, and I want you to be real careful. Number one, if you have any music on your playlist, a CD, on your computer, in your car, that refers to a woman as a bitch or a whore, before you go to sleep tonight, you need to erase it and never bring it back. And here's why I'm saying that. Because the music, yes, it's degrading to women. But that's not the problem. The music that's degrading women is what you're putting inside of your body, what you're putting inside of your ears, inside your mind, and inside your heart. And so the degrading music comes inside of you, and then guess what you start doing? You start degrading women. You start dehumanizing women. You know how genocides happened? You know how they happened in history? It was because people took humans and they dehumanized them. The Jews called the guys rats, and they called the girls whores. The disaster in Rwanda where 800,000 people were murdered is because they saw the Hutu people as cockroaches. And so they would stomp them out. No one wakes up in the morning and just says, I'm going to destroy 8,000 people in my country. No, what happens is somebody starts dehumanizing. And then it's easy because they're just a cockroach. They're just a girl. They're just, you heard that rap song. I mean, it's just a woman. Like, find another one. So guys, let me tell you something. Believe me when I say this. If you put that stuff in, eventually that's what's going to come out. So if you have anything on your playlist, before you go to bed tonight, you delete it and don't ever bring it back. Number two, clear your mind of erotic images or movies. Clear your mind of erotic images or movies. Let's just cut straight to the point. We're talking about porn. Get it out, and here's why. 3 things on this. Number one, it's addicting. When you watch porn, the same chemicals that go in your mind are the same thing that happens when you do coke. Same thing. And it's addicting. And girls, 1 in 3 visits to porn sites are from you, so you're not off to this either. But that chemical inside, it's just like doing coke. And guess what coke is? It's addicting, really bad. And that addiction will build, and it'll build, and it'll build. And here's what happens. When you're watching that stuff, this is what you're training your mind to say. Number one, you're training to say that a real body isn't good enough. Because those, just be honest with you, most movies, it's not real. It's edited, it's fixed, it's lighted just right to where they look perfect. So what you're training your body to say is a real body isn't good enough. The second thing you're training your body to say is that one body isn't good enough. Because most movies have more than one because that's just the way to go. So one body isn't good enough. And then the third thing, the most important thing, the worst thing of all, is that you're training yourself to think that my wife is not good enough because she doesn't look or do or act the way that they do in that video or that picture or that whatever it is. We must clear our minds of this stuff because it's rotting us. And the third thing I have to say about this is, listen, if you think it's just something you do while you're single to pass time, but then when you get married, it's all going to change and it'll go away, it won't. Because by that point, you will be completely addicted. And you will want to say, I'll look at my wife and see her, but you will never look at her the same. And you will do her injustice. You will cheat her because you will expect her to look like that. And that is not fair. You are cheating your wife before you ever even met her if you are doing that in this room tonight. We must clear our mind of the erotic images and movies. It is an addiction. And if you are in that spot and you need help, I challenge you to get it. There is nothing wrong with getting help. There is software out there from XXX Church. There's all kinds of things that you can use to help yourself control that. But you deal with that tonight because it will not go away. Number 3, last one for the guys. We got to stop, and this is, I don't like this one either, but it's just the truth. We have to stop blaming the male sex drive. Like, that's an easy cop-out, right, guys? I see some smiles now, yeah. I know, it was a little intense earlier, sorry. It's easy to just go, dude, that's how guys are. That's what we do. That's how we function. That's just us. That's what it is, right? That's not true. And let me put it this way. God created us to be the spiritual leaders, right? Do you agree with that? God created us to lead the family, to lead the church, to lead so that we could be people that they would follow and they would be proud of. But God didn't say, hey, you're going to lead everything except for this little sexual drive thing. We're going to let the girls keep you in check there. He doesn't say that. He doesn't think that way. We are supposed to be the leaders. And so guess what? We can't blame the male sex drive because it's kind of hard to control. We've got to be aggressive with it and take ownership. And that's hard. I know it's hard, but I promise it'll pay off in the end when you get married and when your kids can look at their dad and be so proud because he was a man of honor that did the hard stuff so that they wouldn't have to deal with it. All right, ladies, I only got one for you. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. I actually got 6, but that's all right. I cut them down. Number 1, ladies, number 1. Don't be selfish in the way you speak, how you dress, or what you post. I did 3 in 1, that's right. Don't be selfish in the way you speak, how you dress, or what you post. Now, ladies, hear me, all right? I know it is extremely hard in this society. I know it is. What they are teaching you, guys, we're not struggling with wearing low-cut shirts. If you are, I mean, that's a whole another talk for another day. But it's just, clothes aren't really a struggle for us. I mean, yeah, we got muscles and we like to show them. But ladies, for y'all, it is hard. I get it. And I am sympathizing here a little bit. It's hard. But let me tell you something. Whenever you put on short shorts or a short skirt or a low-cut top or whatever else, see-through now is coming in, whatever it is, what you're doing is you're being selfish. And I say that with love, and I'm trying to be careful here, but you're being selfish. But more importantly, you're saying, like, I know that my Christian brothers really struggle with this. Like, if a dude walked in Daisy Dukes, it doesn't bother us, but if a girl does, it's a whole other world. Like, I get that. But what you're really saying is, I don't care. I don't care. Like, they should be able to control themselves. And the truth is, some of you don't think that way, and I'll put it another way. Some of you just think, like, these shorts are so cute. Like, they got the little polka dots, and they got the little lace, and they're so cute. And that top, it's just like, it's pink, and it shines with the sun. And so what you see is just, it's a cute outfit. And it's not a malicious intent. It was never intended that way. But then what you don't realize is that when guys see skin, they see opportunity. It's deadly. And so ladies, if you love your Christian brothers, if you really love them, I challenge you to say, I will wait, because hey, guess what? You got a husband that's coming. He's coming. And he doesn't want to know that his girl showed everything to everyone and he gets the last bit. He wants to walk in and say, I'm going to get that for the first time. No one else has seen that because that's for me. If you love your Christian brothers, you would say, I'm going to get a little bit more aggressive with what I wear. I'm going to get a little bit more aggressive with how I dress. I'm going to get a little bit more aggressive with how I talk. So the truth is, ladies, you're not going to be able to dress with the in fashion sometimes. That's okay. There's tons of stuff out there that you guys can still look cute. My wife, she's not here, so I can say something awkward. Dude, she's hot, man. And she does not have to wear a bunch of skin-revealing clothes to be hot. Do you understand that? And guys know what I'm talking about. Not with her, don't do that. But you don't have to wear all of these things to be beautiful or hot, however you want to describe it. You don't need that. And so just hear me. If you love your Christian brothers, help us. Yes, we've got to be able to control it. I know, guys, you're not off the hook. But ladies, help us because it makes it that much better, okay? All right. And what you post. I'm going to speed through this. Facebook. Stop posting pictures because they're evil, all right? Nope, not all pictures, but stop posting pictures. That could be confusing, all right? Here we go. Number 2, be honest with yourself and get help. And this is where it gets a little serious. Some of you guys, let's be honest, and this goes for guys and girls. The issues here, they're deeper than just I have an urge to dress a certain way or to talk a certain way or to date in a certain way. The urge is coming from something deeper. Some of you, you grew up without a dad. And believe it or not, you may hear this for the first time, but there is a natural bent inside of us when we don't have a parent on either side, male or female. We tend to lean more toward that gender because we didn't have it growing up. God did create families to be one husband, one wife, together forever. And the sinful nature of our world has caused that to change. And so I know it's not totally our fault, but you have to remember that if you grew up without a dad, ladies, you are most likely going to be more naturally bent to lean toward guys to fill the spot that you never had because you should have had it when you were growing up. And I'm so sorry that you didn't. But the truth is you can't be let off the hook for that. Some of us, man, we just need some help. We just need some counseling. There's nothing wrong with that. Like, I don't want you to hear that and think you're crazy or psycho if you need counseling. No, that's a great thing. To be able to admit that and say, you know what, I did grow up without a dad, and I find myself leaning more towards this, and I want to just get some help. I want to get some clarity so I can figure out how to deal with this. There's nothing wrong with that. And others of you, if I could be brutally honest, and this breaks my heart to even have to say, but some of you grew up, and there were people in this world that thought that they were bigger and tougher and that you were nothing, and they abused you. And I'm so sorry. I really am. I am so sorry. It is the sinful nature of people that cause us to do stupid things. And I wish that never happened to you. But you understand that if that did, there's a good chance that you are more apt to fall back into that lifestyle because that's what you were brought up in. And I'm so sorry for that. It breaks my heart to even have to say that. But listen to me, if that's you, number one, don't be afraid to get help. But number two, you hear this. Please hear this. God is not done with you. God still loves you. You are still perfect. You are still beautiful. You're not dirty. You're not trash. You are still his child. You are still his child. And what some guy or some girl and your childhood took away from you, you can have it back because God will give it. You understand that? He still loves you. He's not done with you. You're not dirty. You're not trash. Don't you ever think that for a second. Ever. Ever. Point 3. No relationship is worth keeping if you have to adjust your morals. No relationship is worth keeping if you have to adjust your morals. Not one. Not one. If some guy, write this down. All right, I want to hear a story that you did this, and I just want to celebrate. The next guy that walks into your life and he thinks that he deserves more of you than you're willing to give, is what you do. The next time he asks, turn around, walk away, never look back, and show him just how worthy he is. Turn around, walk away, and don't even look back. He'll realize real quick just how worthy he was. Some of you ladies need to hold on to that. You may not have experienced it yet, but you will. There's a good chance that you will. Some of you may be in that relationship right now. No guy or girl, no relationship is worth adjusting your morals for. Not a single one. Not a single one. So what do I do? What do I do if I've gone too far? What do I do if I didn't know, Chad, any of the things you just said tonight? This is news to me. What do I do if my boyfriend and I can't really blame one over the other? We both made mistakes. What do I do? 1 John 1:9, it says this, and some of us just need to hold on to this tonight. But if we confess our sins to him, he is faithful and just to forgive us our sins and to cleanse us from all wickedness. I know I've been hard and to the point and blunt, and I'm sorry. I'm not sorry for that because sometimes we just need to hear it. But there's some of us in here that we've gone too far. We are in it, and you're feeling it right now. You know I've made a mistake. Some of us tonight, the best thing we'll do is a moment of confession. And that's not on the rooftops. That's not to this entire room. That's to a close, trusted friend, or maybe a leader that'll be here tonight. That is an option for you if you need that. But for some of us tonight, the best thing we can do is simply just a moment of confession that we say, God, I have done this and I am sorry. I didn't know, or I just didn't choose to listen, or whatever it is, but God, I'm sorry. I don't want this anymore. I want you to take it, a moment of confession. It says, if we will confess, our God is just and faithful to forgive. Don't feel like you're alone, because you're not. I have no right to stand on this stage. If I could be brutally honest with you tonight, I do not deserve to stand on this stage, especially to talk about this subject. But he forgives. He forgives. He's forgiven me, and he's forgiven many of us in this room already here tonight. So don't think for a second that you can't find that too. Confess, turn, and then know that he's waiting. You don't have to walk in the dark anymore. You can walk in the light. You are still his child. You are still precious. You are still perfect in his eyes. If you will latch onto him, if you will confess and ask him to forgive, that's all you have to do. You don't have to walk in the dark anymore. His arms are stretched out. All you have to do is take his hand.